Hello, how is everybody doing? Hanging in and hanging on? Yeah, that's all we can do most days. So, I am Emily, as he said. I am 45 and a single mom to 3. So that is an adventure. All 3 of my kiddos have a diagnosis of autism. And with that, there's a lot of sensory stuff that takes place. And I mentioned that to tell you this little story about my son. Thank God he's 11 now. But at the time, he was about 2.5, 3. So, it's about, 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up. It's time to get my girls ready to put them on the bus. And I look down the hallway. And on the wall, you just see these greasy handprints as you go down. And it's little Michael prints. And I follow those to his room. And when I get there, I find him covered in head to toe, with the exception of a diaper. He was butterball naked, covered in peanut butter. I have to love him. He is my son. I made him. So he would, in the middle of the night, go and get a jar of it, and I just had no idea he would cover himself entirely in it. That took a lot of Dawn, a lot of scrubbing. Like, he was almost a whole different nationality, like Reese's Pieces. But he did smell good for a while. He was definitely moisturized. But they are their own adventure in and of themselves. Which brings me to, a lot of times we have to go to the pharmacy. And generally when we go to the pharmacy, I like to mess with the people at the window. So I refer to it as going to do my government-sanctioned legal drug deals on the corner. So whenever there's somebody new at the window, I have a really good time with this, and I get all sketchy. And so I lower my voice and I'm like, hey, do you have the good stuff? And it freaks them out completely. The pharmacist has had enough of me because, she's used to my bullshit. But, when you think about it, it's like completely the same situation. It's just sponsored by the government. But they want to penalize entrepreneurship. My thing is, at this point in my life, dating is just a fun time. I have been on some first dates that at this point I deeply regret. There was one I had met on, of course, Plenty of Fish, and their picture obviously did not in any way match what I showed up to meet. This gentleman, his belt size was probably half of the equator, and I'm a big girl, so I know what I'm saying. Bless him. His hair was like really long and like oily to a point that I think he could have filled his own bucket of Crisco. And yeah, bless his heart. I'm not really somebody that's like super shallow as far as like looks or appearance or whatever, but could you even look remotely close to the picture that you sent me? So that's always a good time. I have a lot of meetings and things I have to go to, and I have to be polite. But then I have this inner monologue that just wants to look at these people and go, what the are you thinking? But I have to be like, okay, well, that's great. We'll go ahead and proceed further with this, and that's amazing. But in my mind, I'm like, I can't believe your dumbass decided to come at me with this bullshit sideways and think that I'm going to be all right with all of this, because it is total bullshit. But you do what you have to do when it comes to your kids. I I have ADHD, so I have a lot of random thoughts. So I was at Sunday service, this was years ago, and the pastor was up there speaking. It was my parents' church, and he's just going on and on and on and on. Very boring. It's nothing, exciting about it at all. It's white people church. So he's up there and he's just la, 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 la. Well, how my brain works, we just go somewhere else whenever we catch a phrase. So he's sitting there and he's talking about Jesus and the 12 apostles, right? Well, where does my brain go? My brain decides, oh wow, that would be a great musical. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, now we have like Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? Now we have Jesus and the 12 apostles. So Jesus is going to be at the main center here, and then we're going to have 12 apostles show up. There'll be a whole musical number, and then we'll have like a whole thing where Mary Magdalene comes up, and then there'll be the crucifixion. And like, I'm a very strange individual. I need a lot of help and medication. But we've known that for a long time. I have paid one. But I really enjoy being a mom. I'll be 46 this year. And this mom thing has been the greatest adventure I've ever been blessed to have with the three of them. If I didn't do anything else in this world right, I feel like I've done that pretty well. The biggest thing in life is when we have our own things that we want to do for ourselves, and sometimes those get pushed to the side. We forget who we are. I understand that this is comedy, but I have a point. The thing is sometimes it's good to make ourselves a priority in our own life and find who we are again, and let ourselves have fun and give yourself grace. But I appreciate y'all letting me have a few minutes tonight of your time and let me come out and give this a whirl, throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks like Jell-O, because that's all we can do is give it a try, right? But I really appreciate your time. Thank you.